I believe that he will be thought of as one of the greatest men of his times. Starting off as a young Tembu, very proud of his African traditions. He had dedicated his life to a free and democratic South Africa for all its people, and that he hoped to see it achieved and lived happily in it, but added that if needs be, he was prepared to die.
Mandela, Sisulu and Tambo participated in the founding of the ANC Youth League.
And their aim right from the start was to radicalize the thinking in the senior organization. Civil disobedience, strikes, passive resistance.
He became volunteer-in-chief in the Defiance campaign. Only those who were prepared to make that sort of sacrifice were elevated to leadership positions in the African National Congress.
Knowledge removes fear, never fear, no more.
Dr. Verwoerd said there is no place in white South Africa for blacks other than as laborers for the white people. They don't need mathematics. They don't need the sciences. That was Bantu education.
The most potent weapon in the hands of the oppressor is the mind of the oppressed. The basic tenet of black consciousness is that the black man must reject all value systems that seek to make him a foreigner in the country of his birth and reduce his basic human dignity.
The worst of the apartheid laws were race classification under the Group Areas Act, where there was massive removal, uprooting of settled populations.
Long walk, long way, long walk.
I have fought against white domination, and I have fought against black domination.
Let us walk long way.
You are either alive and proud or you are dead. And when you are dead, you can't care anyway.
It's true. It's true. It's true.
In Sharpeville, this huge demonstration, they didn't burn their passes. What they did is they marched to the police station, unarmed naturally. And because there was a huge crowd, they pushed themselves against the fence of the police station, and the police opened fire and killed 69 people.
Let us march forth, drawing strength from our common plight and our brotherhood. In time, we shall be in a position to bestow upon Africa the greatest gift possible, a more humane face.
After the massacre of Sharpeville, the repression, the banning, the outlawing of everything, the choice became submit or fight back.
The African National Congress commands and urges all of us to act for unity and as one.
There are many people who feel that it is useless and futile for us to continue talking peace and non-violence.
Umkhonto weSizwe, the spear of the nation, of which he became the commander-in-chief. Every step should be taken to avoid the loss of life.
In their hundreds, they left the country and joined Umkhonto weSizwe. So there was a huge influx of these people in our camps in different parts of Africa. Bombings of apartheid buildings, post offices and other structures where they said Europeans only or so forth.
Nelson Mandela, leader and founder of the sabotage movement Spear of the Nation, was accused with the others of plotting sabotage to overthrow the South African government by force.
That trial really elevated him to the legend that he has become.
I have cherished the ideal of democratic society with equal opportunity for all. That is an ideal, he said, for which I am prepared to die.
When I made that speech and I said I'm prepared to die, the women behind me exclaimed, because I don't know whether they thought that was too much to challenge the judge.
It was said that the road to freedom passes through a jail.
Robin
island my home, for a while kept me, for a moment preserved me. I face my life and future behind your prison doors, within the confines of your thick walls, built by men, my family and mentors, their blood and sweat, soul-banished bodies, shoulders and blistering hands, open cracked backs. I saw it in our suffering. I see it in our victory. It may mean different things to different people, but to real people, it is freedom. Indeed, we are free. Time is on our side to heal.
Many of them, the thousands that went there, when you ask them, where were you educated? They will tell you Robben Island with some pride.
The government had decided that tuition in all schools must be given in Afrikaans. And the students decided to take to the streets in protest. And then the police tried to crush it and fired. 600 kids were killed.
Only free men can negotiate. Prisoners cannot enter into contracts. My father says, I cannot and will not give any undertaking at a time when I and you, the people, are not free. Amanda!
This was a tremendous boost to the campaign to make the country ungovernable.
They decided to ban the liberation movements. So from that time onwards, we could hardly say a thing here.
What is our future?
More harsh laws are being passed, making political work completely impossible.
As soon as the other side was willing to negotiate, to listen, to talk, to share, to accept the dignity of the people, to allow the exiles to come back, to release the political prisoners, to unban the organizations, then the armed struggle ended. It was never an objective in itself.
I am serious about bringing this matter to finality without delay.
South Africa belongs to all.
I wish to put it plainly that the government has taken a firm decision to release Mr. Mandela unconditionally.
Black consciousness is an attitude of the mind and a way of life. Its essence is the realization by the black man of the need to rally together with his brothers around the cause of their oppression, the blackness of their skin, and to operate as a group to rid themselves of the shackles that bind them to perpetual servitude.
Your struggle, your commitment, and your discipline has released me to stand before you today.